Okay, let's make this better than the last dump we took.
Yep, won't be hard.
And welcome to Overtime, brought to you by KingsCast at www.kingscast.net. I'm Keith Kornlick.
And I'm Chris Kalazewski.
And we are back again. The Kings are now done with the regular season. We clinched the playoffs. Blah-de freaking blah.
That's right, Kings fans. We're back after a tough game tonight at the Shark Tank. Here to talk about that game that took place tonight. We'll also talk about what went wrong this season. We'll also give our ideas of what we think we can expect in the Vancouver series and give a little playoff preview with that. So,
here we go, episode 151, entitled The Vancouver Canucks Again.
All right, Kings fans, so moving on from the last game. We obviously know there was some sort of incident, I think, last game.
We talked about it. Yeah, sorry about the technical difficulties. That was a genius segment. We're not going to redo it. You're above that.
That's right. We lost. Got a point. Moving on. This huge game tonight. Yeah. But before the game started, Vancouver, actually not Vancouver. that's
on the mind. It's on the mind.
The Phoenix Coyotes, played the Minnesota Wild, hoping that the Wild would win to give the Kings a chance. At least.
You're so funny, Chris. The Wild win.
That's right. So, obviously it was over really before the game started tonight that the Coyotes won their first ever division title. So it was on. It was a battle tonight against the Sharks for 7th and 8th seed.
Can we just real quick, Chris, say a congratulations to the Phoenix Coyotes? They lose Ilya Bryzgalov, their number one goaltender, the guy that kept him in it. They signed Mike Smith, who was just terrible. All those things on the internet with him, and they go and clinch a division with numerous amounts of cap room. Biz Nasty playing almost every night. Congratulations, Phoenix. You guys deserved it, and Dave Tippett for LA Kings coach.
Oh, yeah, huge props to Tippett. The guy was awesome. He took this franchise that, he's got every time they have a press conference, it's like, so where are you guys moving to? So how does it feel to be like a team that we don't know if you're going to be here next year? So this guy pulled it together. They won a division based on everyone else losing.
Credit where credit is due. And coming into tonight, at the Shark Tank, LA Kings, San Jose Sharks, fighting for 7th and 8th seed. Basically, are you going to play the Blues? Are you going to play the Canucks? And Kings come out starting really well. Goal by Justin Williams. And we're up 2-0 going in, thinking, hey, when we're up 2-0 going into the third or going into the second, whatever it is, good things are going to happen. It's the LA Kings. It did not happen.
Yeah, Mike Richards had that huge goal. I thought, chipped it in there at the end of the second. And, it's looking weird. I don't trust the Kings when they have a 2-0 lead, especially against a team like the Sharks. So, what happens? The Sharks tied up.
Yeah, and, it goes into overtime. We both got a point, which is awesome. Unfortunately, it's the 82nd game, so the Kings end up losing in overtime. Dan Boyle. Final score, by the way, 3-2 for the San Jose Sharks. Dan Boyle with a hat trick. Talk about a guy stepping it up. We talk about the character the Kings have. It's a great locker room, really positive. But where are these guys when people need to step up? And that's what Dan Boyle did. Congratulations to the San Jose Sharks. We're going to be playing the St. Louis Blues. Blues in 5, but I don't know. I'm not a happy Kings fan. Yeah, we're in the playoffs. It's awesome, but ugh.
Well, let's talk about what went wrong. I mean, you look at the season coming down to it. The Kings, it was close those last 2 weeks. We didn't even know the Sharks would make the playoffs. So it was iffy if the Coyotes would. It was iffy if the Kings would make it. But you look at what happened, and the Kings really, when you look at it, it took a lot of help. We needed Colorado to sort of poop out, and they did.
Thank God.
Same with Calgary. So it was really down to a bunch of teams that were who's going to take this here. And you look at the Kings team and you think, God, it's so chock full of character. There's so many guys who have all this, quote unquote playoff experience. This is the game that we win. We looked at this on the calendar and we're like, okay, a home and home against the Sharks. I think that we'll at least split it.
We should have, obviously. And, the team that needed to get it done got it done. That was the San Jose Sharks. And, you say a lot about the Sharks. I mean, they've had a really rough season, but so have the Kings. And, Kings fans will say, yeah, we didn't have Jeff Carter. You know what? You still got to figure out a way to get it done because we still didn't have Jack Johnson. To me, that was a big plus. But, now we're looking at we're the 8th seed, in a conference that we should have been at the top of, going into the beginning of the season. I mean, if you had said to me we're the 8th seed or, going to barely make the playoffs, I would have told you were crazy. So it didn't happen. So now we're facing the Vancouver Canucks. Which is great for KingsCast because, a lot of people watch from Canada. So welcome, Canadians.
Yeah, they love us up there. We love you guys,
nice
too.
Nice to see you. But on to the playoffs. And we are playing the Vancouver Canucks, who we played a couple of years ago and lost in 6 games. Vancouver Canucks, to me, are improved a little bit. You know what I mean? I know Daniel Sedin will be coming back from his concussion, and, they made that trade with Buffalo at the trade deadline. To me, they're looking a lot better. So are the Kings, though.
Yeah. You take a look at the matchup, and it's like you start with the goaltending. And, obviously Luongo is one of the better goaltenders in the league, had some iffy moments this season. But you compare him to a guy like Jonathan Quick, who was really coming to his own this year as a Vezina candidate, as a guy who was able to steal games, really carry this team. And when you take Quick out of the equation, you really don't have much for the Kings. I don't think they're a playoff team in any stretch at all. So I want to say that's a draw. Surprisingly, I think for some people who are huge, Luongo fans, but I think that is a straight-up draw right there in goaltending.
Here's my only problem with that, Chris. On paper, absolutely, I think you're right. But right now, Quick, last game against the Sharks lets in, 5-6 goals. Tonight, some of the goals were not, some of the... Normally, Quick would have made those saves, I think, or maybe 1 or 2 of them. So you're looking at a Quick that maybe again against the Sharks last season it might be tired. So to me, I think advantage Luongo a little bit, but I think you're right on paper. I think that's a draw. Yeah,
and let's talk about the defense. The Kings' defense has been their bread and butter all year long, next to goaltending, and they've been second in goals against. The PK has been fantastic. You compare it to a team like the Canucks defense, who was a little more offensive oriented, and I think we maybe get the advantage on that.
Advantage Kings, absolutely. We're definitely, I think, a little bit better defensively. With the addition of Voinov, we had a little more offense, so there we go. But on the forward lines, it's really tough to say. With Jeff Carter, a little more even, but I'm definitely going to have to go with a healthy Daniel Sedin advantage Vancouver.
Yeah, and more than anything, we're talking about playoff experience. We're talking about a team that went to Game 7. They came,
of the finals, the Cup finals.
A period away from, winning the Cup. And, we look at the Kings roster, and this isn't a healthy Simone Gagne in the lineup. The guy hasn't played since December, so we can't count on his sort of veteran experience, his Cup experience.
Well, he's not coming back, period.
Yeah, he's not coming back at all. We'll probably never see him play hockey again. But, we compare that to, some of our guys on our team. We're talking about Nolans and Kings and, again, at Clifford, even they had a fantastic playoffs last year. We're talking about a young group of players on the forward lines. It's going to be tough matching up against these guys who are so experienced and so clutch.
Yeah, but here's the thing. We do have a Richards and Carter who went to a Stanley Cup Finals against the Chicago Blackhawks. So there is that experience there, which I like. Can the Kings bring it together? Based on tonight and, on Thursday night, it's going to be really tough because I'm not seeing that heart there. But, I think we have experience. I'm saying pretty good advantage for Vancouver on the forward lines.
Yeah, and if we're talking about overall, series predictions, I'm going to go ahead and say that I see again. I feel like I'm having a deja vu here with 2010. I'm going to say Canucks in 6. Keith, what do you got?
I want to differ from you. All right, I'm going to differ from you, Chris. I'm going to say Canucks in 5.
Okay.
I'm saying Kings are improved. I hope people step up, but it's kind of an uphill battle at this point, especially with the downward trajectory at the end of the season. But, we got a lot of practices ahead of us, heading into the game 1 of the Stanley Cup playoffs up in Vancouver. So, I don't know. Canucks in 5. I really hope I'm wrong.
Me too. So, yes, the Kings have made the playoffs for the 3rd straight year, which is very good. It's hard to make the playoffs. Well, somewhat in the NHL. 16 out of 30 teams make it. But whatever. We want to give our top 5 list of things you'd expect from playing the Vancouver Canucks.
Number 5, Trevor Lewis is not Frederick Modine.
Number 4, I expect Drew Doughty to play more like Jack Johnson.
Number 3, definitely expect Kings fans at Staples Center to say, "Go back to Canada."
Number 2, I expect "O Canada" to be sung much louder and with much more fervor than the United States national anthem.
And number 1, the Kings are going to lose.
All right, Kings fans, so Kings playing the Canucks yet again. So we want to get your take on how you think the Kings are going to do. How many games do they last? Leave your questions and comments, as always, downstairs.
So we'll be right back at you after Game 1, and yes, KingsCast is going to do a show every game for the playoffs as long as they last, which is probably 5-6 games. So enjoy that. As always, leave us a video comment if you like the show. Click that like button if you're on YouTube, and don't forget our contest. Subscribe to us. You'll be entered into a random drawing to win an awesome Kings signed photo, framed and matted. That's how we do. You know we love you. I'm Keith Cornelick.
And I'm Chris Kalaszewski.
Thank you for watching Overtime. Bye, KingsCast.